The episode begins with Tytra being approached by Sari, who came to greet her. However, the young girl's response was very shocking as she told Tytra that humans are cruel, despite never having seen any humans before. It's no wonder that Tytra's mother doesn't want her to interact with humans like Sari. Love and his brother were very upset because this girl spoke to Tytra in a completely inappropriate manner. At that moment, Tytra deduced that the queen didn't want to perform the rituals while carrying her child because she didn't want any human to touch her baby. Then, Tytra offered to help the queen in some way, and she brought a small stone and wanted to throw it away. She asked Sari to bring it back to her again, diminishing her importance like a dog. This greatly annoyed Tytra's companions, and they informed her that Sari is not a dog to be treated that way. Tytra continued her speech and told Sari that if she became her follower, she would ask her mother to allow her to perform the rituals of blessing. Then, Tytra threw the stone into the sky, and Sari agreed to the request. She ran quickly to catch it, but something strange happened. The stone turned out to be one of her mother's jewelry. At that moment, Sari held the hand of the little girl and told her to be more careful with the jewelry because it is very precious. Then, Tytra informed her about the second task, where she started exhausting and playing with her in a strange way, but Sari endured all the hardship and fatigue to be able to pass the ritual test. Tytra constantly belittled her, but Sari had to endure it. Then, Tytra told her that her next task is to be her horse, meaning that Sari would carry her on her back and walk like a horse. But Sari's response was somewhat strange to Tytra because she agreed without hesitation. Tytra asked her how she could do this without any pride, and Sari said that she loves playing a lot. She held Tytra and continued playing and running with her in that large place. After they finished playing, Tytra told her that her mother only cares about her younger brother, while she means nothing to her and is seen as a bothersome and rebellious source of annoyance. As for her baby brother, he is very important to her and her parents because he is the long-awaited heir. Her parents have been waiting for this child for more than 10 years. As for her 3 other siblings, they were married off outside the country because they are girls, and one day she will be like them. Girls don't matter much to her father, and the birth of this baby is like a treasure that only happens once in a lifetime. Her mother wants to get rid of her in any way possible. At that moment, Sari spoke up and told Tytra that this is not true because her mother loves her, and she is sure of it. Her beautiful eyes clarify this matter, but she may not know how to express that love. Tytra tells her not to deceive her with fake words because she has made up her mind for a long time. While King Ozmargo is still here, she knows that no one wants her. She has decided to jump from the highest tower in the palace and die to be relieved from them and to relieve them from her. Then, Tytra rushed to the top of the palace as fast as possible. On the other hand, the queen was sitting with her son, Kalkura, when suddenly the guards entered and informed her about a serious matter related to Princess Tytra. Meanwhile, King Leo and the other king were outside the royal palace. And as they looked up, they found Tytra standing at the top of the tower. At that moment, Sari quickly approached her to save her from what she intended to do, telling her that she only has one life that she shouldn't waste, otherwise she will die as a disbeliever and displease God. But Tytra informed them that she no longer wants to live as no one wants her, so she decided to end her life herself. Upon hearing this, Sari tried once again because she wanted to play with her again. At that moment, Tytra remembered her mother's tears and how she used to tell her not to cry because she would always be by her side. But things changed when her younger brother was born. Her mother stopped shedding tears and neglected her. Her attachment was solely to her son. Then, the princess climbed with some guards to the top of the tower to save her daughter by any means necessary. However, Tytra did not listen to anyone and jumped from the top of the tower. Sari followed her without hesitation, and she caught Tytra. Then, she summoned the sacred bird, astonishing everyone. Sari told her not to do this again because she is the daughter of the ruler, and everyone loves her. The road ahead of her is still long. Sari was delighted that she met a girl like her, and at that moment, Tytra cried a lot upon hearing Sari's words. Her tears continued to flow, something her mother had never seen before. Then, she remembered how her mother used to ignore her when Tytra tried to talk to her, just like Sari, the human girl she was once afraid of. On the other hand, the king of the country apologized to King Leo for the scene he witnessed. He was very embarrassed because he had summoned the sacred creature, which caused trouble for him. His daughter often caused them a lot of problems as she was always mischievous and troublesome. But King Leo scolded him for speaking about his daughter in such a way. As a father, he should care for her even more because his care means everything to her. Afterward, the sacred beast finally landed, and Sari and Tytra descended to the ground. At that moment, Tytra's father rushed to his daughter and embraced her. The girl apologized for the trouble she caused, as she had caused them many problems. Then, her mother apologized to her for not caring about her recently and asked Tytra to forgive her for her actions. She also spoke to Sari and thanked her for helping her daughter. The next day was the day of sanctification. Sari was dressed in her official attire, and everyone was waiting for her to carry the baby, the king's son. Sari was very happy about this wonderful event. Anubis looked at Sari and spoke to himself, realizing that he will never accept her, yet this girl has the ability to change others because her heart is pure, compassionate, and free from hatred and resentment. At night, Sari sat with Tytra and told her that she was originally a sacrifice. Then Tytra informed her that her only way to escape is to become the queen of the monsters. However, Sari told her that she had no say in the matter, including becoming a queen. She explained that the king cared about her, and one day he declared that he would never abandon her. So, the decision she made for herself was to live by the side of his Majesty. Then, Tytra asked about Anubis, expressing her admiration for him and wondering if he was involved with someone. But the cat spirits, Laufey and Lop, told her that he can be harsh at times, so they don't recommend him. However, Tytra informed them that she likes that type because it is from the cat lineage, and they spend a happy time together. Then, Tytra fell asleep. While Tytra was sleeping, Sari spoke to herself, saying that all she thinks about is fulfilling her duty so she can stay by the side of His Majesty. But if she had the opportunity to start a real family with him someday, what challenges would they face? She wondered about His Majesty's feelings regarding the inheritance that our relationship might leave. Suddenly, she felt the presence of the king and went to see him. She found him with his monster companion and the king told her that they must be cautious about prying eyes. However, he asked her something as a king, stating that he is obligated to produce an heir someday, and the true royal lineage of Ozmargo does not mix with any other bloodline. He wondered if he could love a child born from his own blood. He mentioned that his own parents did not love him either, and in his early memories, he did not have a mother or siblings. His strict and powerful father, the former king, was his only relative, and he was harsh on him. One day, he told her that he had learned all the ancient runic letters of the monsters, and his father angrily replied that all members of the royal family are taught to be warriors and scholars, so she should not boast about any accomplishments. From time to time, his father would imprison him in a small cell, and he would cry and scream, begging to be released. He did not care about her, and his motive for doing so became clear over time. Suddenly, her appearance transformed into a human form, and she became afraid that her father would see her like this. Her father did not praise her or show any affection. She felt certain that her upbringing was intended to make her a good king, and she believed that love was the foundation for all his actions. Then, one day, her father became ill, and he did not have much time left. Despite her sadness, she held a weak hope that her father, in this painful end, would embrace her and tell her that he loves her. But suddenly, before her father's death, he became very angry and called her a devilish child, cursed and tainted with impure blood. He said she would be the biggest flaw in his lineage, and one day, her blood would lead this kingdom to destruction. Then blood flowed from her father's mouth, and he died, still proud and strong in his final illness. But he desired to embrace her in the end. This is what the priest said, and tears filled their eyes afterward. She learned that her father's mind had been deteriorating long before his body. The chief physician claimed that he didn't know the reason for it. The truth was buried with him, and the people never discovered it. My father hated human blood intensely to the point of madness, and he always wondered why he couldn't conceive a pure-blooded monster. Suddenly, Sari burst into tears, and the king asked her to forgive him for sharing unpleasant things with her. She told His Majesty, King Leo, that he does not see her human side as weak or inferior, but rather as a true curse for him. The king's words alleviate her burden, and he tells her that today, one of his fears has become a part of his past. He couldn't choose the blood or the position she was born with, but he could choose her for himself. Her presence is the true blessing regardless of the troubles her bloodline may cause. Sari is deeply moved by his words and begins to cry. The king lifts her up and tells her that when he becomes a great king as promised, he wants her by his side as his queen. At that time, they will complete their marriage. Sally rejoices and prays for this curse to become a symbol of blessings one day. Moving to the palace, we find Sari bidding farewell to Tytra, the prince, and the princess. She asks Tytra to come and play with her later, and her mother allows her to extend the same invitation, hoping that Tytra will remain a friend to her daughter. Sari then looks at her little brother and tells him that they will play together when he grows up, surprising everyone with his ability to speak. Joy fills the air, and Sari takes her leave with the king. Afterward, the king tells Sari that she has completed her first duty at last and advises her not to put too much pressure on herself. Sari reminds him that they have taken a big step forward.